Hello, my name is darksideup, and this is the Eyes of Dr Kautzmann. Okay. Okay, it's just a click situation. All right. What is this? Books. Fireplace. What is that? Oh. Oh? Is that a puzzle? Isolation makes a mockery of one's faculties, though he knows this only too well. Time has become that most slippery and ill-defined of things. The only rock in a sea of unknowing is the certainty that every passing moment brings me closer to the day of his arrival. And what then? Perhaps it is better to feign madness than to suffer whatever fate he keeps reserved for those who do not conform to his monstrous ideals. Though, how could any fate be worse than my own? To be trapped in this hideous place with not but what? The merciless wind for company that howls against these walls by day and whispers dreadful thoughts to me by night. This recess provides my only sanctuary, for perchance he is not aware of its existence. The mechanism here must be connected to the inner workings of this place, and, if the gods are good, it will prove the key to my escape. But alas, the combination eludes me. I have searched every inch of this accursed room to no avail. If indeed this contraption is unknown to him, surely its combination must also be beyond his knowledge, though likely the foremost thought in the minds of who even built this place. I dare say the secret of the combination is now lost and buried deep in the hearts of this town's founders. That's a clue right there. I can't make out what that says. Something they... But perhaps there is no combination, and the lock is merely a device to further torment and deceive me, designed by his own hand as my punishment for defying him. Whether this is the case or not, I feel I must continue my search, for the notion that this room is without escape would so utterly defeat my soul that I fear I would not have the will to rise and meet the day any longer. I leave this note in the hope it may be found by one who falls foul of that madman in times to come. The thought that there will come a day when I am no longer the sole occupant of this prison gives me some solace, but for now, I continue to await his judgment in silence. Karl Hoffman. Okay. Okay. So we are in some sort of prison. With a secret panel under the fireplace. This is a very intriguing point of view. How do I get back? A bed? My dearest, a change in spirits has overcome this town, though I fear it is not for the better. It is as though the wind has taken a sudden change in direction, and we must bend under its new course, lest we break in our stiff reluctance. It is my dear hope that you can see as plainly as I the folly in relying upon a vampiric madman who lies hidden in his lair, while people suffer without. I felt it imprudent enough that you volunteered to stand beside the doctor as one of his hounds, but to abandon your family in times as harsh as these seems plainly cruel and unbefitting your temperament. I implore you to return to us, if not for my own sake, then that of our Hilda, who has begun to lose strength in her belief that her father will ever leave that cursed manor. When she gave you that gift, the day you locked yourself away with the doctor, it was in the trust that you would always keep it near your person, and its melody would provoke a remembrance that would play on your heart and recall you to us. Though she could doubtless never give case to these motives, she wears them upon herself outwardly, whether in her knowing or otherwise. Your past actions, be they by your own or that doctor's will, are of no matter to me now. I lay the suffering of our people at his doorstep only, and in the depths of my heart I know that you are kept in that manner by his unholy will, and not your own. By all that you hold sacred and righteous, renounce your place at his side and join us in our flight. Perhaps we may begin our lives once in a place less wretched than this, for I can no longer bear to live in the shadows of that manor and its ignoble inhabitants. Yours in faith, Frida Bauer. I really hope I read that right. This. What? Ed? Oh! Oh, the music box. So we've got a music box turned around. Books. Uh-oh. Books. Cannot touch the books. Ooh, writing desk. Unity in modernity. Pipe, lamp, books, quill, not telescope. Is it a telescope? I forget what it's called. Glasses. Herman Vought. I fear that the horrors that transpired tonight cannot be undone by any means of this world or the next. The blame can be laid solely upon the shoulders of that deceitful doctor, about whose true moral fiber there can no longer be the merest shadow of any doubt. It wounds the very pits of my heart to see our benign and enduring way of life cast aside with such irreverence, as though our beliefs and traditions were but as leaves to be swept away in the autumn. Oh, to have the permanence of a leaf! What occurred tonight is perhaps more akin to a fly being struck from the air, its killer ambivalent and its passing without meaning or memorial. For as long as records have stood to attest, and perhaps for generations before even that, Acorn Manor has served as the seat of the Vought family and the watchful protector of Oakenwell, a veritable lighthouse on the rocks through the town's storied history. Built by our ancestors upon the hill that overlooks the sacred trees beneath this house, has long been connected to the town and its people. Today, a distinct air of melancholy hangs in these halls, as it is our faith in particular whose past is most entwined with that of the manner in ways our histories have forgotten. Alas, with the doctor's residency, these once familiar halls have become as estranged to me now as though they were the retreat of wolves and bats. It is with icy remorse that I write this confession. My decision to place my trust in a doctor was in equal measure naive and injudicious, and it may have set my people down a doomed path from which it is impossible to divert. To remember the doctor on the day of his first arrival to Oakenwell, a day on which the town was in the most fierce grip of famine, is to remember a man who seems now entirely incongruous with the man I saw tonight. I could be wrong here. Had I known on that day that the doctor held in his terrible heart the will to carry out such terrible and foul deeds, I dare say I would rather have faced the devastation of the famine alone than trusted him with our salvation. Perhaps it is less heavy a burden upon the soul to see friends and companions starve in their own homes than it is to see their faculties and virtues laid bare and replaced by evils and wants. And replaced they have been, for how can these people that I have loved so dearly through all their good health and all their sickness, all the summits of their happiest days and all the pits of their worst sorrowful, how can they stand idle and silent while the symbol of their hopes and fates burn from them? For the doctor has burned our sacred oak trees, those self-framed trees that we lived and died by, prayed to for forgiveness and for aid, are reduced now to charred bones. Our spirits are forever cursed to wander these lands, aimless as the wind and empty as this hallowed manor. Had I not questioned the doctor's methods, would our faith perhaps have been spared? These thoughts echo through my mind and the minds of my people alike, and I cannot be certain if the feelings of guilt that prey upon me should be heeded, or if they are some pact of the doctor's machinations, which are intended to harden the hearts of the masses against me. Whatever the case, it is difficult to believe that the people might stray from the doctor's rule for them, after the terrors we have witnessed tonight. After all, they are in a more fit state of health than they were before the doctor's arrival, though I sense that the true cost of this has yet to reveal itself. For now, it has become clear that they had more faith in him than they do in me, this house, or their own gods, which are now to them like diseased livestock. It's a lot of reading in this one. My dearest Anna, forgive me in my delay in writing, but there has been such a remarkable change in the sound in so short a time that I have hardly had chance to collect my thoughts. This morning, the doctor gathered his new working force and set about employing them throughout Oakenwall to ease the suffering of the famine. It seemed to me almost miraculous that so profound a transformation could overcome our people, and our fortunes could divert from the most dire of paths to one of such hope in but a single day. This is surely the work of a man most learned in the subtleties of the human mind to have roused us so with mere words. It was strange that, after our fates had so long been in doubt, there was such a sense of purpose and clarity surrounding the events of that morning, as our host of 20 volunteers made a sweep of the town, gathering all consumables from every house and every store. A handful of villagers were understandably reluctant, in some cases violently so, to part with the goods that they had protected for so long, and this did not go unremarked upon by some volunteers who took it as a basis on which to question the doctor's methods. But I reassured villagers and volunteers alike that the doctor is intended to fairly and evenly distribute the supplies of the entire town in such a manner that all would benefit and receive only that which was required. Once convinced of this, by means of reason or otherwise, all the villagers parted with their food and we established a base of sorts in front of the town hall from which it could be redistributed. The hall's clock face declared that it was mid-morning by the time these preparations had been completed. It was astonishing how easily our uniforms and official mandate allowed us to assume control of a situation heretofore considered aimless and lost. I reassured my brothers and sisters of Oakenwall with renewed vigor as they waited in turn to receive the rations that had been promised to them, whilst my fellow volunteers and I found great comfort in providing service to our community. There was nevertheless an uncanny sense of doubt that occasionally clouded my mind. Then it was the turn of the hungriest and most pitiable of the villagers. Oh, Anna, I pray you shall never have to send away a starving child with inadequate rations. It is a detestable feeling. I would have given each of them a piece of my very soul, along with the bread, if it would have abated their hungers for just a while longer. I must continue to recall the wisdoms the doctor gave us on that first day, along with his handbills. His promises of technology from the cities that will enrich our harvests tenfold, of trades that will bring food to our very doorsteps from strange lands of which we have no conception, of an end to the material struggle that has haunted us as a grotesque shadow. We must believe in unity and modernity through the doctor. My heart trembles at the prospect of you and little Klaus suffering while I, in my folly, head the false wisdoms of a man whose words, belimotious, unwholesome, and foul. But while our people starve in the streets and no plausible alternative presents itself, we must keep faith in the doctor. Remember that it is my love for you and Klaus that drives me to act, and no other voice than yours shall hold influence upon my actions, save for that of the doctor's alone. Yours ever, Walter Schlautz. Okay, so we have a Walter Schlautz, we have a Herman Vaught, okay, door is locked. Saw a village there, right? It's 2 o'clock. I'm assuming PM. Wait. Two, two, one. 1, 2, 2, 1. I can't read music, so I can't decipher that, but let's try 2 o'clock. Nope. This is Carl Hoffman. I'm just trying to figure out if there's anything else I'm missing. Can I touch anything else? So we are basically stuck in a room. A necklace. Frida Bauer. A lot of people included here. How? Can I look at these pictures? No. Let's look at this again. Maybe there are numbers? I don't think so. Okay, so I looked it up. And so far, everyone I've seen has typed in that they have no idea how to get the first code. And that they have the answer, but no idea how to get the first code. Like, where is this code reflected? No idea. But this is the answer. Literally 3 pages of that. So let me count. 1. There's 2 in there. 3, 4. That's it. I'm just trying to find out where this answer is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. All right. Let's just do it. I looked it up, you guys, because I couldn't figure out where the answer is supposed to be, and from what I understand, no one knows where this answer comes from. I checked a few sources. If anybody can let me know why this is the answer, please let me know. This is so annoying. Why is this the answer? I think one of the comments is that somebody literally spent a long time going through each digit, each case, and ended up with that answer. Alright, so I believe the door is now open. End of Act 1. Wait a minute. Are you serious? Is there an Act 2? Okay, no there isn't. Okay, final thoughts. This is a particular type of art style, I think, called expressionism. It's very, I don't want to say avant-garde, but a certain type of cinema is like this. Dark, brooding, very moody, atmospheric. The sound design is quite helpful in putting you in the headspace. The letters, the commentary, the journals, the journal entries, it gives you a lot of backstory as to what's happening. So from what I gathered, there's a town called Oakenwell that was hit by famine, and the people suffered for a long while until a mysterious doctor comes into town and, with the help of volunteers, gathered up all the supplies and food from all the townspeople, either forcefully or with their aid, and then redistributed that to the public. There was structure. The unity in modernity was a saying that kept repeating itself. This is a political sort of slogan. The way there's a poster with the doctor trying to bring people together, promising modernity, technology from the cities, trade possibilities, food, a lot of promises. But then the story talks about a drastic change in the people after the doctor came into their lives, after they went through some sort of transformation. And they kept referencing it closer to vampirism or some form of monster. I don't know if vampirism here literally meant the doctor was a vampire or that he turned people into vampires, but because the wording was very flowery, the way everything was written, it was quite deep. And I would only assume that they mean that the transformation was monstrous. I can't really say that well. It will take me a few tries to figure out, reading this a few times to figure out what the hell they're talking about. But at first glance, after reading it once, you get that feeling. So I don't really know the history of Europe as well as I should. I learned it once back in school, but I would pinpoint this sort of, I don't want to say theology, even though they did say worshipping of oaks and the burning of their gods. This sort of philosophy, maybe, is somewhere close to industrial times, I would assume. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're getting too deep into philosophy this early in the morning for me. I just woke up. I have been sick for like a week, had my coffee, started recording, and this is what I decided to start with. Not knowing what sort of depth this game was going to provide for my brain. I overall enjoyed the artsy-fartsy of it all, I would say. I enjoyed something that is a bit of a fresh take on an experience. I'm sure there are other games similar to this. I wouldn't know. I am still going through every game I could possibly get a hold of. But this is a game that I would probably have brought up in school to my sociology and philosophy classes. I studied a bit of political science back in school, so this is a type of game that I would have loved to talk to my professors about. The poster as well has a lot of meaning. The doctor, I'm assuming this is the doctor, looking over people, unity and modernity, and then believing in the doctor. I really hope someone will tell me why the answer to that code was that answer, because I didn't freaking know. I looked everywhere. I didn't spend hours and hours like other people have, and I know most of them just did it out of trial and error, not necessarily figured it out somewhere. That's what I understood from the comments that I read on the guide. And that's it basically. I want to know how that answer came about, what you guys thought of this free-to-play Steam game, and would you actually look into the second act if it ever came out?
Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and if you liked this video, please like and subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye!